Welcome to Childcare Rockstar Radio. I am your host, Kris Murray. Childcare leaders around the globe are breaking through challenges, leading the way in innovation, testing new best practices, and impacting children and families in a much more powerful and positive way than ever before. Each week, join me for interviews with early childhood leaders and experts that will leave you inspired to become the next childcare rockstar. Now, let's go. This is Childcare Rockstar Radio, episode 173, featuring Kishani Woldberhan. Hey folks, I'm thrilled that you're back. And I'm sitting here in my condo in Denver, Colorado. I am back from Hawaii, and I really hope that you spent about 50 minutes with me a couple weeks ago on my special solo episode straight from Hawaii. So if you missed that one, that's episode 172, right before this one. Do yourself a favor and go check it out, because I know that you're going to get a ton of writer-downers from that episode. I want to talk to you a little bit about today's episode featuring Kishani. Kishani is one of our top performing and achieving members. She is a queen of execution and driving forward to her vision. And in this amazing podcast episode, she talks about how she has grown her brand to serving hundreds of kids every day in Arlington, Texas, her beautiful schools, which are the Kids Early Learning Centers. And she is actually playing at a global level. She is expanding her brand to massive schools in Ethiopia, which was a huge dream of hers. And she has tapped into that dream, and she is unstoppable. In fact, that's what I named this episode, is Unstoppable, a global vision of massive impact. And Kishani is just a whirlwind. You'll get so much inspiration and motivation from her in this episode. I can't wait for you to meet her. I wanted to also share that over the last month or two, I have been traveling quite a bit. This is my travel season. I intentionally planned this as my daughter went to college in Savannah, Georgia last fall, and I was able to really focus on me time. And also, as I talked about in the prior episode, the Hawaii episode, that I was able to step aside from the CEO role in my business and just focus on strategic planning and being a founder, and then new creative projects. So with that, I was able to visit two very, very beautiful preschools recently. And I wanted just to give a shout out, because when I was down in Savannah, I was able to visit the Steinhaus, very, very beautiful school, quite large and just gorgeous. And we're putting in a new team break room and lounge while I was there, and they've completed that, and it's fantastic. So Crystal and Rob Steinhaus, shout out to you and your incredible school outside of Savannah, Georgia. And it was really fun to visit and get a tour and meet all the teachers, and their amazing chef. And so just so much fun. And then when I was in Hawaii, I spent some time in Honolulu visiting Dominica Glenn. Dominica goes by Shay as her nickname. And she and her husband run a beautiful program in Honolulu. So that was an incredible experience as well, to be able to visit schools around the country, and then especially when I was out on Oahu. So just wanted to give a little shout out there and share with you guys that I am wanting to visit more preschools and centers throughout the industry, whether it's Academy members or not. And so if you want me to come visit you, send me an email and I'll put it on the list, and we'll see if we can make it happen. I am traveling quite a bit, and so you never know where I might pop up. I want to dive into this episode for you and let you meet this incredible woman, early education entrepreneur, and massive whirlwind of execution. And one of the quotes that she gives in this episode that I love so much is, if it was easy, everyone would do it. So sometimes, obviously, being a business owner and entrepreneur is not the easiest journey to have chosen, but I feel that it's probably the most fulfilling journey of any profession that you could choose, is to create something to your vision, hold your vision, and see it come to fruition. And then even beyond your dreams of what you originally had in your vision, because your vision grows as you grow. And Kishani is the most amazing example of this. She's in the empire level of our academy, and she's the level of person that you want to be in the room with when you're in your mastermind groups, because what she shares, she's done several 10-minute talks in front of the room, sharing different strategies and things that she's created inside of her program. And she's just, she blows us all away. And so I can't wait for you to meet her right now. Without any further ado, Kishani Woldberhan, right here on Childcare Rockstar Radio. Let's go. Hi, everyone. I am very happy to have you back in the studio with me as I introduce you to an amazing human. Kishani Woldberhan is with me today, and she's an incredible early learning business owner and leader. Kishani, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, Kris?
I'm doing well. I'm having a great day, and it's the last day of January is when we're recording this. Can't believe the first month of 2024 has already flown by, but I'm thrilled to have you on the podcast. It's been a while that I've been wanting to get you on the podcast, Kishani. Kishani is a member of our Empire level, our highest level of the Childcare Success Academy, and she is really an inspirational person. So, Kishani, where are you located? Where are you sitting right now?
I'm sitting at my corporate office right now.
And where is that located?
So that's located in Arlington, Texas.
All right. And tell us a little bit about your early education business. Your brand is, I see it's beautifully displayed there behind you as Kids Early Learning Centers. How many locations and what is your overall capacity? Maybe the number of employees that you employ, any kind of stats that you want to give.
So I'm based in Arlington in the DFW area in Texas. And I have 4 locations currently running. It's in Midlothian, Fort Worth, Arlington, and Richardson, a capacity of about 507.
Nice.
And my main company is Kids Early Learning Centers, which is my main company. And then we have our 4 locations. Kids is my brand, but my other locations go as Kids Humpty Dumpty, Kids Rainbow, Kids Montessori. And then we also have Kids Casa de la Montessori. And then we're opening 2 locations in Ethiopia.
Okay.
Which will be a capacity of about 2,500.
Woo! My goodness. What an incredible expansion of your influence globally. And now, are these all Montessori schools?
They are Montessori-inspired.
Got it.
Because it's hard to find Montessori teachers. So we are Montessori-inspired.
Mm-hmm.
And even in Ethiopia, it will be Montessori-inspired, but it will be fully Montessori materials, but it will be Montessori-inspired, yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So the way that flows is all the classrooms are set up as traditional Montessori, or there might be a little bit of some blended components in there maybe, but the teachers are probably trained up in Montessori, but they're not fully certified Montessori. Is that?
They're not certified. Yes, they are trained. So we have our own training program that, so my 2 daughters and I'm certified Montessori teachers. And we have given we are training our teachers on the Montessori method.
Wonderful. Well, I can't wait to ask you more, and especially about your Ethiopian schools as well. We're going to dig into all of that. But before we do, tell us a little bit about your personal life. What is life like at home for you? And what are some hobbies or interests? I don't know, you might not have a lot of time to pursue hobbies and interests, but certainly travel or just give us some more about your personal life, if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Sure. So I'm a mother of 5, 3 boys and 2 girls. All 4 of the older ones, 2 are married, the daughters are married and have 1 grandbaby. The 2 boys are working with my husband. My husband is originally from Ethiopia. and also he does multifamily and commercial real estate. So the boys work with him and my daughters work with me. And then we have a 12-year-old at home who is still attending school. So I'm originally from Sri Lanka. It's a small island in Asia. And I came here actually to the United States on a J1 visa as a Montessori teacher, and came with my two daughters. And I pursued I taught in a Montessori school for 5 years. And then I was like, I don't want to do teaching anymore, because with my two kids at home, it was so tough. So I decided to leave the school and then get into corporate America. So I joined a bank, which was first Washington Mutual, and now it's Chase Bank in California.
Okay.
And I started as a teller, worked my way up as a loan officer, and became a branch manager within 5 years. But my passion was childcare. I wanted to do childcare. I wanted to provide quality learning environment for children. And then we were in California, and then we moved to Texas 12 years ago. And then every time I passed by a childcare center, I would tell my husband, I said, I want a childcare center. So we bought our first location in 2013. And then, of course, we tried expanding, but our kids work with us. And basically, that's my background.
Gotcha. So when did you open your second location?
So my plan was to have 5 childcare centers, because I thought I have 5 children. We are actually a blended family. So my husband has 2 boys, I had 2 girls, and then we have a son together. So I thought if I get 5 childcare centers, everybody gets one, they won't be fighting for anything.
Right.
And my plan was to do every 3 years. So I got one location in 2013 when I started my first location. I kept to my plan. My second in 2016.
Wow.
My third in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, my fourth location would be 2022. But then when the pandemic hit in 2021, one of my friends reached out to me and she said, hey, I want you if you can purchase my school. And I was like, who buys a childcare center during a pandemic, right? I mean, we're trying to figure out. So then after I talked to her, went and saw it. I loved the location. And, well, I did. I bought it during the pandemic. And it was closed, but I did not open it till 2021.
Okay.
They had some work to get done and stuff. And then is where we decided to go international with our brand.
Wonderful. I love that. And have loved working with you over the past few years and seeing you just blossom. What you've brought to the Academy in terms of different strategies, different components of things that you've created, your systems, your structures, your branding. You've brought a lot of very cool, creative ideas of implementation and shared them with the members. So everyone's like, oh, Kishani's got the coolest stuff. So very, very grateful and blessed to have you in the program sharing all of this great stuff that you've created. So tell us a little bit about your unique benefits. What is I know it's Montessori-inspired, which is one thing that will set you apart in your market. Is there anything else that comes to mind in terms of what your key unique selling points or value points of how you market your school?
So we have dedicated teachers who love children and love to teach them. So they do an amazing job. So that's one of our key points too on keeping. And of course, our culture. We have built. Well, I learned a lot more in the academy about how to build a culture and maintain a culture and maintaining those systems and processes in place. So our culture we tell our parents, this is a partnership. It's not just you drop off your child, we babysit with your child. Yes, and we are probably not the right fit for you all too. So there's only certain ways. All centers are not a fit for everybody.
That's right.
We are very upfront and very transparent with our parents, and we give them a chance. And I'm bring Montessori. See, most of my locations are in the lower income areas. And some of my friends say, why would you do Montessori in those areas? Because then you can't charge a lot. But I'm like, no, my brand was to bring education to all children, right? So I want to bring it. That's why I'm bringing Montessori to the kids that can't go to the high-end Montessori schools.
Right.
So I'm bringing it to them for them to have the experience, to learn. And we do a hands-on learning experience. So the parents love it.
Yeah. That's super cool. I love the juxtaposition of bringing what traditionally Montessori is seen as more of an affluent
Right.
children's learning modality. And I love that you're bringing it to neighborhoods that might not, have access to it. So, and what I love about Montessori, every time I walk into a Montessori school, there is intensive learning going on. You can see the children, you can almost like see the brain cells developing in the child's head because they're so focused. And it's usually very quiet, calm, and people, it's very, very, it's also very usually nature oriented. So I love all of those components, a lot of natural materials,
Yes.
So I love all of that. So talk a little bit about your marketing. What is working for you right now in marketing your schools in Texas? And then we can also talk about Ethiopia. I'd like to let me table that, and because we'll talk about when are they opening, and that's a huge amount of capacity, 2,500 children. But in terms of your Texas schools, what's working for you to stay close to fully enrolled or fully enrolled?
So I'm working with Grow Your Center.
Okay.
Grow Your Center is working with my marketing and my website. They have done an amazing job. They were the only ones who could have created a website for me, which they could blend in my 4 other locations, because I had individual websites and I wanted it all in one.
Yeah.
When I did the interview with Bruce, I told him, I said, I don't want to get into anybody else's if they can't do what I really want to be done. And he was the first one who said, yes, we can do it. And he has done an amazing job. Everybody at Grow Your Center is really great. My marketing lady, my VA for my marketing connects with Grow Your Center, and they are amazing. You only have to tell them what to change, what to do, and it's done. There's no waiting and for calls to come or anything like that way. I am having a call with them actually on Friday with Stefan about enrollment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just to check in and see how everything's going. Yeah. Cool. Love it. Well, thank you for that. That's great to know that Grow Your Center is working great for you and built you a beautiful website and doing probably doing your CRM optimization as well, right?
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Ethiopia. What was the vision for your decision, your big decision to go back and build, or I don't know if you're building from dirt or if you're just purchasing these schools and you're going to convert them into your branded childcare centers, but 2,500 capacities, 2 locations. Talk a little bit about how this vision came to life and some of the key steps to get you to the point where you're at now.
So the vision we had was my husband wanted to give back to the community, but he wanted to open a home for the children. But then, with all the things that was going on and stuff, he didn't want to do that. So when we traveled back and forth, and then my husband's like, well, why don't we open a childcare center here? So that way we can educate these children and do that. And we went to one of his cousins' children are going to a private school in Ethiopia. And she had visited my centers here in Texas when she came, and she was amazed. And she said, I want you to bring this brand to Ethiopia. We need it over there. We have children who don't get this and stuff. So the third time when we went and talked to her at her school, at their school. It's a private school, but it's only from elementary to high school. And they had looked at my website and the pictures and the videos that she took, and they were amazed, and they wanted me to sign up a contract with them to be a consultant. So I'm a consultant with them on getting their public school, semi-private school, up into Montessori, and giving the teachers like techniques and how to handle their classrooms, because they don't have anything in their classrooms. It's just sitting with books, and that's all they do. And then we went to the education department and we talked to them. We put a proposal. They accepted my proposal on my brand. I had to tweak it a little bit to get a little bit more on behavior and artisan children, because it's not very popular there. So we had to tweak it a little bit. And then what they said was to go to the mayor in the city, which is the main capital. So we went and talked to the mayor in the capital city. And then she was like, oh, this is amazing. We want you to bring your brand over here. So the education board has already approved my project.
Okay.
And my concept. So then she was like, we are going to provide you with the land in the city, and we need you to build and bring it. But they wanted me to do it from toddlers to high school.
Oh, wow.
So the one in the city is going to be from toddlers to high school.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's why it's about 1,500 to about 1,800 capacity. And it will have a swimming pool, it will have a tennis court, basketball court, other science labs, libraries, all that. And they are looking right now to get so it's going to be about 75,000 square foot building, because they have to have different listings. So they said they're going to give us the land, and they're going to start doing the other part of it. So we will be just building from there, but it will be a private school. It won't be a government entity. So people will pay to come into that.
Okay. So they're giving you the land. You're going to go ahead and pay for the building cost to build the buildings. And it will be a privately owned school that you will own it, which is great. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And we have talked to a couple of banks there too, that they're willing to do it for us, like funding it as well.
Right.
Right now is they're looking for the land because they want to have it in the middle of the city. So they have to have the space wise too. So we have gone and seen a couple of spaces, and the architect was like, it doesn't fit to do what we have, the plans, what we have. So all the plans are all ready to go as long as we find that. Then my sister-in-law who is there, my husband's sister, the grandfather has a land in the suburb. And that's about 10 acres of land. And then so it was a bare land that was just kept there. And now the government has asked them to build, or they're going to take over. So she was like, she called me one day and she's like, look, we need to get something done. I need you to put up a school. So I said, okay. So since the education board from the main capital had already approved it. So what they did was she just took all those documents, went to the suburb, and then presented it to them, and they approved it. And they said, okay, you can start, but they only want to go up to from toddlers to elementary, because they already have a high school there. They don't want to interrupt that, but they just want to do it only for that. So that's going to be about 800 to about 900 kids in that locations. Wow. So that has already started. We already broke ground.
Okay.
The building is coming up. They were having some political issues within the country, and but it has got a little slowed down. But that's in the process right now. So the building is coming up.
So, what is your expected open date for the bigger project that's in the middle of the city, of the capital city? What do you have a projection, any kind of clue or a range of when that might open?
If we are building it from ground up, so it won't be until 2026.
Okay. Okay. Um, for people listening to this that are kind of blown away by the level of, your vision and taking it and then making an impact for people internationally. Maybe somebody's inspired listening to this podcast and wants to do it themselves in the country of their choice. Do you have any advice for what you've experienced so far, what you've learned from the process? Any advice or to-dos or not to-dos that you want to share for people that might be inspired to do the same?
I would say if you want to do it in another country, it's not that difficult.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the process takes longer because if you have to go through a government agency or the government, that takes a longer process. But if you want to go ahead and just get a building and open up a school there, and if you have some kind of national background from there, like if I'm trying to open in Sri Lanka or like in Ethiopia, because my husband is from Ethiopia, we have a more, how would I say it, like, they would even give it to you because you are a national from there,
Right.
born national.
That's right.
And they, when you say it's coming from American standard, they all want to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody. They don't want to go to the public schools.
Yeah.
So as long as it's from the United States and it's an American brand coming there,
They want
they're
that.
going to give you pushbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, we went there 4 times, and every time we went there, we had to go and talk to the government officials to get a signature. They send you to one place, then to the other place. You know how
Yes.
countries are. But I didn't give up.
Right.
Like I sat at one of the officers there for like 4 hours. And he told me, fill this out and fill this out. I said, yeah, I have everything I'm going to fill out. He said, oh my gosh, you can read tomorrow. I said, no, I'm going to get it done today. And he said, you have so much of passion for this, the school, I guess. You're not giving up. I said, no, I'm not.
Right.
And they wanted me to translate my English version into their language. And we got it done because we didn't want to lose it. It took time. But finally, once they realized and you're not giving up, you can do it. Sky's the limit as long as you know what you want and you go for it.
Yeah. I love that. So inspirational, Kishani. And your passion and your determination just shine through. Sky is the limit, everybody. Everybody that's listening to this episode, I want you to write that down. So now that you're on this road, how are you feeling? Do you ever feel overwhelmed? How are you feeling in your mindset? How are things going for you? Or are you feeling pretty stable and like calm? Or do you have periods where you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like anything that you want to share?
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm moving faster than what the process is. Because I am a person, like if I like want to achieve something, I go, I'm a go-getter. But then, when you deal with other countries, they're a little bit slower. So that sometimes frustrates me. And when you're not there to like go and take care of it, you have to depend on your family or people who you want them to get the things done. So that like frustrates me a little bit. But sometimes I realize that, they're not in America. Their things don't happen the way we do things here. And I try to like, somehow work it through. But I'm so excited because I was able to, my dream was to take it international. And I'm able to take it international by this project. And I've been reached out from Mexico and also from my own country to start projects over there.
Wow.
So down the pipeline, we will probably do that as well once these things are going.
Yeah.
Because we do have things here too that we are, preparing and we're doing and expanding and stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean,
So,
it's a little overwhelming, but it's good.
yeah. So any tips for the listener who is still working in the day-to-day of her program? Maybe she has one, maybe she has two locations, and she would love to be able to work in a corporate office or a home office and work on the business instead of in it. Like, how did you kind of make the leap from being a smaller player to having these big visions and dreams and accomplishing them? What were some stepping stones along the way?
So one was having your goals on what you want to go. And I learned this from you and also from Julie, like keep the end in mind and work backwards. So having your goals already set up, and no matter what happens, you push through your projects or your dreams to achieve them. Mm-hmm. Nothing is going to come easy. Everything is going to be difficult. Mm-hmm. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it.
That's right.
Right. But if it gives you satisfaction in like looking at that end dream of yours and working backwards and filling those gaps, it's achievable. I bought my corporate office in 2022 because I didn't want to stay in the centers. I have offices in my centers, but when you go into your center, to your office there, everybody wants to come and talk to you. Everybody wants to come. So you don't get to do anything.
That's right.
And then they depend on you thinking that, oh, she's there, so she will take care of it.
Right.
But you have to hold them accountable to do the things. As long as they know what your vision and mission statement is and what your dream and goals are, and you are working towards that and giving them the tools they need to like get the stuff done, I think you can be hands off. So that's why I got the corporate office and I moved to the corporate office. But before I did that, I worked so hard on getting systems and processes in place.
Yeah.
Automation. Like 3-4 weeks ago when we had snow here in Texas, when snow happens in Texas, people don't want to get out.
Right.
Because a lot of accidents and stuff.
Yeah.
I was able to sit on my bed and do my work. And I was like, I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I have a good system now.
Yeah.
I could work on my phone. I was on the bed, didn't have to get out, but things went on. Things were happening. So I think if you have a good system, automating all your systems, but having control as well.
Yes. Love that. That's a perfect advice, Kishani. I love keeping the end in mind. And if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yes.
The thing about it is people, and Julie Roy, who you mentioned, I love so much. Julie's been on the podcast and she's a great friend of mine. And people say, oh, well, look at her. She's got it easy. She's got everything, or she built that, or she's a multimillionaire. Isn't she? And they might say things, but they don't know all the sleepless nights, all the work, all the long hours, all the stress, everything you did, all the little steps, all the goals that you set, all the driven all the systems you put in place, so people who achieve a lot, people who are high performers and achievers do so in the face of doing things that most people are not willing to do.
Right.
Period. Nobody wants yeah. Nobody wants to work that hard, but then everybody's, So it's like, this is what it takes. Yeah. This is what it takes, people. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. Thank you, Kishani. That's great. I love that. I want to ask you about your leadership team, because you mentioned accountability, you mentioned systems. I'm sure you're leading your leaders in a very structured, cohesive way. Talk a little bit about how often do you meet with your leadership team? Do you follow a certain flow or process? Talk a little bit about how you lead.
So we meet on Slack. So we communicate on Slack. Like we have different channels for our leadership. We have channels for our staff. We have a general channel for all my staff, which in every location. and we have separate channels for each location. So we
Perfect.
communicate a lot on Slack, and we do a lot on Jot forms. So we are able to implement those stuff that we have on our Slack. So we send daily reminders, we send positive notes on our Slack for our staff. Like, you can do this, you change kids' minds. You're an educator, you're not a babysitter. You things like that, we give them positive feedback on that. And also for our leadership, they can always come to us, to me or my executive assistant, and say, look, I don't know this, can you show me, or I forgot about this. There's no rule that you need to know everything, because the systems are in place. They have a way of getting into the system and then finding for it, like our SOPs. Everything is on a SOP. So how would you want to do it if you don't know how to do it? And we have a QR code for all our SOPs that are put on each item. So even if you go to turn on the washing machine, there's a QR code on the washing machine. It's like, how do you operate it? Because I found out that nobody wants to do something if they don't know to do it. Right. And
That's right.
sometimes the things you have in your centers are commercial stuff that they don't have it in their house. So if we are giving them the tools on how to use it, they don't feel embarrassed to use it just because they don't know. I had a teacher who didn't want to use the microwave because she said she didn't know how to use it. So she used to avoid the microwave. And one day when I went, I said, why don't you use the microwave? She's like, oh, no, it's okay. So I said, no, let me know. And she's like, but I don't want to, because you're very open with me. I'll tell you. She said, but I don't know how to operate it. So then I realized, oh my gosh, a lot of people don't know. I don't know to operate some things too.
Sure.
So we decided to put a QR code on every appliance we have, on anything that we do, that gives them a SOP on here's how you use it, step by step.
That's incredible. That's genius. I don't think anybody's ever shared anything like that on the podcast before. It's something so simple. Using technology, and we're all used to QR codes now, because guess what? During COVID, we all had to pull out our phone and QR code the menu. Right. So society changed. We got to the place where we accepted that mode of behavior. So, okay, let me snap a QR code and see that this will help me understand how to use this machine. And it helps protect the appliances, so you have to spend less on maintenance or repair if somebody breaks the machine, less likely to break.
Yes.
Very smart. Very, very smart. Wow. So I know a lot of people got a big writer downer on that one. Fantastic. I love that. And, I love that you're using Slack with your leadership. We use it as well. And we love it. And it is great for culture building, team communication, and being able to build teams inside of different classrooms or locations, across the locations. Also for sharing funny things in your workday, right, inspiring your teams and keeping them going with funny little memes and gifts and things. So I love it. So if you guys
and the teachers they submit their classroom pictures and activities they're doing with their children on the Slack. So on the general channel, so that way, if a teacher is not motivated to do anything, they get motivated when they see, because sometimes it's a competition, right? Oh, this teacher is doing it, then I can do better. Steps. So we would see all the pictures coming in, and then those pictures are being used by my VA for marketing to use those for marketing purposes. So it works both ways. And then they have to show their classroom at the end of the day, like it's tour ready. So that way everybody gets energy, and they get like, okay, inspired to do things. And then we do a Zoom meeting with my leadership once a month. We used to do it every other week, but then now we do it once a month, because we basically don't have a lot to share, because we are always on Slack, keeping up with the compliance and everything. So we do once a month a check-in on Zoom with the leadership.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool. Well, I could talk to you for another hour, Kishani, about all of the ins and outs of the detailed things that you've implemented that are very, very cool. I think everybody should just know what your website is, or I don't know if you have a separate one for your Ethiopian school, or if you will, but please let us know, how can we follow you? Because everybody listening to this podcast, if you go check out Kishani's website and you look at what she's doing on social media, you will get tips on things that you could do, because everybody in our academy, a lot of our Empire members are watching Kishani and modeling her success and these innovative ideas like the QR code. There's so many fun things that we're sharing inside of the academy for little tips and tricks that just make your life better, make your school better. So what is your main website and how can people get a hold of you, Kishani?
Kids Early Learning Centers.com is the main website, and everything is on that. So we have a Montessori store. My Ethiopian schools are not on that yet because it's still in the phase of getting it up and running, but it will be on that as well. Okay.
Kids Early Learning Centers.com with an S. Wonderful. And then I'm sure you can link to her social sites off of the main website with the little icons, usually is what a Grow Your Center website standard. Right. And anything else that you would like to share as final thoughts for the podcast audience today, Kishani?
Well, I would like to say that, being a member of the academy has helped me tremendously to revamp stuff and get things to where I am, like getting those little nuggets and then implementing it. So I would highly suggest people get into an academy, to the CCSA Academy, which is the best so far I have been on, and learn so much, because it's really not anything that you have to compete with. Everybody is there with many centers to 1 to 2 centers, but there's a lot of collaboration there and sharing that people are willing to share and help out. So you can learn a lot on that. And I have learned so much with all the childcare centers that I have and the Ethiopian schools coming along. And also I have other businesses, which is the Montessori materials, and we do event planning as well.
Wow. Wow. So busy lady, look at you. I love it.
And we are coming up with a program for a childcare management system, which will come out in June.
All right. I look forward to hearing
everything that I've learned and try to put it into one program that it will be. And I will probably give more information to the academy once I get all that details up and it's running. And a fun factor of mine is all these things going on. I love to do event planning and decorations.
Oh.
I don't think anybody knows the thing, so I do a lot of decorating for weddings, birthdays, baby showers and stuff. I did my 2 daughters' whole wedding, like all the table arrangements, the bouquets, and I can sew too. So I did all their dresses as well. So that's just a fun factor.
Thank you for sharing that fun fact. I forgot to ask you earlier. I got so sucked into the rest of the story, I forgot. So thank you for sharing that. I know that I'm sure you do an amazing job at all of your party decor, event planning, event decor, soup to nuts. It's just a very, very cool brand and essence of what you're bringing to this world, Kishani. I really appreciate you taking the time to be on the podcast. As busy as you are, you took time out of your life to be with me on the podcast today. So, and thank you for your kind words about the academy. I didn't ask Kishani to share that, but she did out of the goodness of her heart. So thank you for that. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the podcast. Thank you, Kishani.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Kris.
Appreciate you and all the work that you're doing in this world for children and families. Thanks everybody for tuning in to another incredible episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio. And we'll see you next time. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye. I hope you liked this episode of Childcare Rockstar Radio. If you did, please leave a review and share it with someone you know to help spread the word to friends in our industry and on social media. Childcare business success is my passion, and I'm honored to be on this journey with you. As a thank you for listening, I've got a new video training that shows you how to add 6 figures or more of new revenue to your program in the next 60 days by improving your hiring and your enrollment systems. To watch my new video, just go to www.fixmyschool.com. That's fixmyschool.com. Thanks. Take care and God bless.